Hey yo, it's your boy Monster Man Rocco.
It's your boy Swagger Rock.
This is Snack the Ripper.
And you have to go, you don't know.
Master Ace. You are now rocking with the best. Breaking Records Radio.
Breaking Records, man.
Breaking Records Radio.
Breaking Records Radio.
Breaking Records.
Breaking Records.
Breaking Records Radio. Let's go.
Breaking Records Radio.
Press 5 now, you check Breaking Records Radio.
Breaking Records, man. Radio is like the place to be. I don't fuck strange music, dude.
I always equate you guys with, like, I guess on a little bit higher of a pedestal in terms of, like, fame and notoriety and status to some degree, but kind of in that same ballpark as, like, Cellar Dwellers and what Nick Wiz was end up doing in the early 90s. That sound, that kind of gritty sound, and that large collective that you always look for, and everything that you guys end up putting out is going to be fire and dope, and it kind of has that certificate, that seal on it, that seal of approval, anything that comes out of the crew.
Yeah, but it's like the one thing too, man, I always tell people, like what we did also, we reached for different areas in hip hop. Like when I came to a time, in my case, I could say, like coming to fruition, it's like I was making records that was like, I won't say Premier like, but I used to chase Premier all the time because I thought Premier was one of the greatest also, if not the greatest. And if Premier was on the album, I wanted to be on that album because I felt if I'm on that album with Premier, I could get some notoriety. You know, and from that, I ended up producing a lot of big street hip-hop records and go on to pick a lot of beats, you know, songs that were singles, club records and radio records, and it went on from there because it's like, I always believed if you have a certain status for what you touch, you have to keep elevating. And it's like, to me, and my doings, I always try to elevate, you know?
Yeah, no doubt. A lot of those producers in the 90s, especially, again, coming out of New York, so your Q-Tip, Premier that you mentioned, yourself, Large Professor, what have you, I always feel like at that period of time...
Diamond?
Yeah, Diamond D. At that period of time, it really felt like a community. Yeah, Pete Rock, of course, Pete Rock.
Oh.
But yeah, it really felt like a community. It felt like there was like camaraderie in between you guys.
It was camaraderie, but it was like school. Because it's like, even though we all were cool, we all were like, to me, when I first started producing, it's like, I looked at Pete like that. Because it's like, I seen how Pete was rocking. He was a DJ. He was on the radio. For me, I was a DJ. I was making mixtapes. So I looked at a lot of things, you know, mirrored at Pete. Then when I heard Soul Clap EP, I looked at things like what Show was doing. He was chopping records and chopping breaks and taking a break this one way and giving it a whole new feel. Like, we had, like, our inspiration in New York was on more than 10. Q-Tip was the master of jazz. You could call him, like, John Coltrane. Like, in Large Professor, he's the Large Professor. You know what I'm saying? Just like he's on the opposite, like KRS-One. KRS-One is the teacher and Paul is the Large Professor. You know, like... Yeah. And everyone always tried to outdo everybody, but everyone looked up to everybody. So I remember always talking to Show every either Wednesday or Saturday. I think Wednesday because albums will come out on Tuesday. And we would listen for people's albums and just talk about how dope what they were doing was. From RZA, you know, to Q-Tip, especially Tribe Q-Tip, you know, all of these guys, Timbaland, you know, because it wasn't just like the breaks and the beats, it was the creativity and how you putting together what you do.
Yeah.
And, you know, being a hip hop was always a party vibe, like Tribe made people party, and so did Timbaland. So looking at these things, it's like we were always inspired, and this was our food. Like we had so much different foods that it had us do nothing but just be more creative with what we do.